It's the Brad and John Show.
It is the Brad and John Show. Today's date is December 18th. It's a Thursday. So happy it's Thursday, John. I forgot to say that. It's a Thursday.
You know, my AI version of my voice agrees with you. So happy it's Thursday, Brad. That, you know what? That voice is pretty good.
When I did that first, you have to upload like 20 minutes worth of voice.
And
to
you
get the
use
sample.
like 10 minutes of the farm show or whatever.
Yeah, I did. And
yeah, you explained that.
When I played it back, I thought to myself, OMG, this is so good.
It sounds pretty good.
Right. It's almost spooky.
And you were about to talk about the Westplex Chamber of Commerce, Brad.
Okay, first off, I forgot. Here's my other bell. I got two bells now. That's my Salvation Army bell. This is my morning radio bell. There's over there if you can hear that. Okay, Salvation Army needs your help. I really do. You can still sign up to be a bell ringer. They need bell ringers. They make a lot of their donations this time of the year. I was in a Schnucks and a Deerberg's both yesterday, and both of them had the bell frame out there with no bell, with no kettle, and nobody ringing the bell, and I felt bad about that. So please, send some money to Salvation Army. They're not doing well. I have a friend of mine that runs a not-for-profit, and she says that is the case across the boards for not-for-profits. For whatever reason, this year has been tough for not-for-profits in general who depend upon people to donate money. Okay. Here's my craziest thing, okay? I had this vision of the fact that I am a big picture kind of guy. I've said this many times with the radio stations. Instead of Tracy Ellis carping at me about, and sending me a cease and desist letter. What was it? Tuesday we talked about, or was it yesterday? I talked about how he listened to the station. Oh, it was yesterday. I talked about how I listened to the remainder. I got in a car about 8:30 and listened.
Yep. So you're a big picture guy. We can skip over the minutia. Go ahead.
Dan and Drew, and then I heard what was his name? Rob Carr and Sandra McDowell.
Rob Carter. Go ahead. And you're a big picture guy. What does that lead to, Brad?
Okay. I see the divisiveness of something that I read years ago, which had a tremendous impact on me. A guy said, all controversies, all wars, all divisions are essentially territorial. And you go back in history, you have the Great Crusades, you have the Civil War, you have, Hitler, you have World War I. It's all territorial stuff. Right now, the whole thing with going on with Ukraine and Russia, territorial. Putin wants to put back the Soviet Union together. He wants to get all the countries back together and bring back the old Soviet Union, okay? So I saw this, about 2 years ago. At the time I think I was still in the O'Fallon Chamber. I can't remember if I was or not. And I thought to myself, and it's interesting because the St. Charles Chamber changed. They used to be, there's a whole crazy story about this. There used to be a St. Peter's Chamber of Commerce. The St. Peter's Chamber of Commerce went bust because the director, I won't mention his name, was taking the money and going to the boat and spent all the money at the boat and lost all the money.
And I remember, Brad, because I asked you what the difference is between what a Westplex Chamber would be. And then there's a group that advertises that has billboards for like the St. Charles Regional Chamber. Right. And then you broke down that story for us.
St. Charles Regional Chamber, essentially, he's promoting everything St. Charles County, from the Mississippi River, right across the river from Alton, all the way down to Augusta and the southern regions of St. Charles County. I'm promoting the Westplex. And if you go to Wikipedia and you type in just Westplex, Westplex, it gives you the definition of the Westplex. Essentially, it's the old Golden Triangle. It's the 8 communities that make up that area of St. Charles County where 92% of the population lives and 95% of the businesses are. If you pick up that area with a big old steam shovel, like if God picked up the Westplex and dumped it in the middle of Kansas, you'd have the 47th largest city in the country. But yet, when you turn on your TV at night, and you watch Channel 2, Channel 4, Channel 5, what do you see? You see another shooting in downtown St. Louis. You see the mayor of St. Louis complaining about this. You see Sam Page talking about he doesn't know how they're going to find $80 million. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, the Westplex is now 430,000 people. But yet there are no TV stations in the Westplex. There's a handful of radio stations, mine, the Viper, a couple other ones. But yet there's no Post-Dispatch in St. Charles County. And even to the point where what's interesting about this is, I don't know if you know this or not, they have 34 ankle bracelets at KWMU. Do you know about this?
Yeah, and where can they not go, Brad?
They have these ankle bracelets that when they cross the river in St. Charles County, these are the 34 reporters that work for the St. Louis Public Radio, KWMU. They get this shock. It's sort of like the dog collar. You put the little wire in the ground, and when your dog goes over the ground, he goes off your property. It goes, and it gets him in the neck.
They get shocked.
They get shocked.
It's the same company that runs your geofence signal. They're both equally realistic. So, Brad, for folks who I'm sure that there's, no one who hasn't heard your pitch about the Westplex being the 47th size. Brad, what's new with the Westplex Chamber of Commerce? And as I tried desperately to tease earlier, what's going on with a 100 number threshold and how can people join?
I have recently, in the last 2-3 months, really, really started working on this hard to the point where I'm going to meetings, I'm talking to people, I'm promoting this, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, what's the old saying? If you can't get somebody to do it yourself and it'll get done better or something like that. So I have put together the chamber, and I essentially said it's free. And I said free the first 100 members. And I had a lot of people say, there's no way in the world you're going to get 50 members.
I love the people that supposedly say things like that to you. Go ahead.
John, I've had it said to my face.
Okay, and so let's get to the 100 number. I'm trying to help you pitch here.
100 members, and then we start charging. Now, John joined, but he paid. I don't know why. There's paid memberships on there. But here's the other thing, and I haven't put it up yet. If you're a business, if you're a small business person, even a medium business person, you can still join for free. Now, I will tell you up front that I've had somebody who's registered some members from out of the area, and it's some SEO dude who's putting members from Indiana in there, and there's about 4 or 5 of them still in there. So when I clear those out, I believe I'm at about 93 or 94 members. When we hit 100, the free membership goes away, and already I have had people say to me, wow, I saw what you did on your Facebook page. You promoted that I joined the chamber. And I had people call me up and say, hey, you joined the Westplex Chamber. That's what I'm doing. I promote people's business. That's what this radio station's all about, to a large degree. Promoting business. That's what Westplex 107.1 is about. Entertain you with good music and promote local businesses, because I am a local business. I want local businesses to flourish so that they become billionaires and then they buy David Hoffman out. That's what I want. But that's
what's going to happen. And with the very limited remaining time, Brad, I think it's an inspirational story. You once had a conflict with someone at a local chamber meeting, and in fact, you were asked to leave at some point. And that person you've mended fences with so much that they chose to join the Westplex Chamber. Can you tell us about that?
Earlier this year, I went to, and I was not a member of the Cottleville Weldon Springs Chamber of Commerce. The irony was I was going to join that morning. I was on my second guest visit, and I show up to the Old Hickory Country Club for I think it was in January, maybe it was February, I can't remember which one, of this year, of 2025. And I'm talking to a woman who I was very impressed by because she had her 18-year-old son there, because you don't see very many young people at a chamber meeting. It's mainly old people. And I get my arm grabbed, and I turn my head, and it's Wendy Barry. And she informs me that I'm being tossed out of the meeting. She doesn't like the fact that I'm there, and I'm not only promoting my radio stations, but I'm promoting Westplex Chamber. And she essentially escorts me out of the hall, out of the building, walks me to the door, didn't kick me in the butt on the way out, but later that day, I paid for the lunch, and it wasn't like I was a crasher. I got my money refunded. They even refunded my money. Okay.
Yeah, they said, we don't want you here, pal.
We don't want this guy here. So I officially joined the chamber, and then not too long after that, unfortunately, Wendy got the boot, and I feel sorry. Now, let me tell you this up front. Wendy is a very high-energy woman, okay? I have utmost respect for her. In some respects, she reminds me of my mother. She really does. And she had a little disagreement with the board, and they bounced her, which I feel sorry for her, because the woman who built the Cottleville Weldon Springs Chamber to what it is today, I think they got like 900 members, is Wendy Barry, okay? And after she was let go at the Cottleville Weldon Springs Chamber of Commerce, I called her like 2 weeks later. I said, Wendy, I've had some disagreements in the past. I'm really trying to ramp up my chamber. Would you run it for me? And she essentially sort of laughed, and she says, no. She says, I got another job, and I'm really happy with what I'm doing. But she says, I do have some clients of mine that I think would be good on your chamber. I said, okay, fine. It's free. Join. Well, they didn't join, and I felt a little bit like, okay, said she was going to do that. I ran into Wendy, I don't know, a month or so ago at my Friday morning, the Friday networking group that meets out at the Rack House in Cottleville. And I sat right next to her. She sat down right next to her. We talked, And she's looked at me and she says, I need to join your chamber. I said, come on in. Water's fine. And later that day she joined. So she is now one of my members of the Westplex Chamber of Commerce. And when I hit 100 members, like I said, I got to go through it today and figure out where I'm at. I think if I looked at my list last night, I think I'm at 99, but I think there are 4 or 5 of them that are going to throw out of there.
You're close. Somebody a few weeks ago said, Brad, how many of those are bots or spam? And you said none. So I guess
no, they're not bots or spams. They're all real businesses, but they're not from the area.
A guy trying to game the system. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
But you're saying you're getting super close, and if someone wants to join the chamber for free, this is the time to do it because there's limited free spots left.
Westplex.com/join. It'll take you right to the membership page. The very first membership right there is free. And it literally, and what I've been really happy about, John, except for you, I don't want to make fun of you about this, you can really turn this into a really good promotional site for your business. And these people have taken the time and they put their pictures up there. They put their address, and so they can go on the geolocation map. They put a lengthy description about their business. They put their contact information. They're spending like 10, 15 minutes working on this. And the interesting thing about it is this platform I'm on does a hell of a job with SEO. So this is why I got this guy from Indiana who keeps putting his businesses from Indiana. All these businesses that registered in Indiana are real businesses, but this guy's hoping that he can get some of the SEO action. So they're not bots, they're not fake, they're guys just trying to game the system. And since they're free members, and since I'm the executive director, I can essentially walk up to these people and grab them by the arm and say, hey, I don't want you in our chamber, member.
Yeah, say, hey, get out of here. It's Westplex.com. Brad, we got to get out of here because it's 8:02.
And you know what that means, John?
What does it mean?
It means time for me to talk to David Hoffman because he wants to buy the radio stations from me.
All right. I'll see you on Friday, Brad.
Okay. I'm going to hit a button. Hopefully the Fox News will play. We'll just have to wait and see.